Good morning from
Good morning.
We are still on the Oceania Nautica, our last sea day, and we're doing some wrap-ups, some summary pieces that you'll find at the end of our individual videos.
Or wherever I put them. But
Yeah, wherever he puts them. So let's talk a little bit about the cabin. You will already have seen our tour of the cabin when we first came on board. Now we've been in it for, oh gosh, almost 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And we'll give you some further thoughts.
So overall, we found it quiet. We have plenty of storage for keeping things. As long as you tidied up, if you throw things on the floor and all over the place, there's not a lot of room for that.
Yeah, you're not gonna like that. You mentioned quiet, and yes, overall this cabin, we're in 7093. We're on the starboard side, three cabins back from the aft elevators,
Yeah.
I think.
Don't hear it all.
I think the first night we heard a couple of dings and we were like, what is that? And they went, oh, that's the elevator. And we haven't heard them since.
Right.
If I'm awake in the morning when the cabin stewards start bringing their trolleys out and setting up to get ready for morning service, I'll hear it, but it has not ever woken me up.
Usually I just roll over and go back to sleep.
Exactly.
If I still want to sleep.
Yep. Saying all of that, you need to remember that no ship cabin is absolutely silent.
No.
You're always going to have background noise from the engines, from the HVAC system, but it's really white noise.
Yeah, and I should have probably started. I know I put it in the video, different video, but this is a veranda stateroom. It's 200 square feet or something.
I think I don't know. You can find that on the ship's deck plans.
The measurements, we did find out, if you're going in and looking at stateroom size, the measurements include the veranda. So if you look at say an ocean view cabin and you say, oh man, that's a lot smaller. Well, not really.
It's not.
It's the same size without a veranda.
Same size without the veranda.
The only thing our first impression, the bathroom is small, but I think the Norwegian we went to Hawaii, it was small like this too.
Yeah, I mean, but it's very manageable. On the refurb a couple years ago, they took the shower curtains out, and there's like double glass doors that open, and they'll open into the shower, out of the shower, however you want to do it. The shower is actually pretty nice, especially for the size. You can take the shower head off and use it around, or leave it on and it'll move side to side. You can set your temperature once. There's knobs on either side, and you set the temperature once and just turn the other knob on and off to use it. Although, cleaning, I would always check it so you don't scald yourself, but we never had an issue that way.
It is tight enough though. If you drop the soap, you need to maneuver, kind of pivot around to
yeah.
to get it.
I would usually swoosh it with my foot to the opposite end and then bend over and get it. But again, it's usable. Plenty of storage space though.
Yep.
We didn't even use all the storage space in the bathroom. So that was really good. And I did use the vanity in the main part of the cabin to do hair and makeup and that sort of stuff, either while he was finishing getting ready in the bathroom or whatever.
Well, I think the lighting's better out here.
Yeah.
The one other thing I don't like in there is the lights aren't quite bright enough for my taste. So if can't get a good close-up.
You might have missed a whisper.
Yeah, I was going to say.
One thing, a lot of times if you're looking at, like, say, YouTube videos and that sort of thing, they talk about bring magnets with you, bring magnets with you, bring magnets with you. The walls in here are not magnetic. And I think that's part of what helps with them being quiet. You do have the stateroom door, which I used to put some paperwork on that, was kind of a reminder of what are we doing today. You also have the frame around the mirror and the lights by the bed that are magnetic. So like if you want to put up your reminder that you've got specialty dining, or you want to get your cruise excursion tickets out for the next day or whatever, the magnets will hold those on those locations. And you really don't need to put hooks on the walls because there's 3 lovely hooks already on the wall, and that was plenty for us. Highlight of this cruise, you still get twice a day cabin service. The steward, you get 2 cabin attendants.
Right. I think an overall main guy, and then one that's here
all the time.
I think he lives in the hallway.
Yeah, I think so. I think Jade too. We had our head cabin steward was Jade. Our regular one we saw all the time was Jade. And when they introduced themselves, they said, "We're Jade 1 and 2."
Yeah. Great guys.
Great guys. Anything we needed, they were constantly asking when we saw them, "How are you? Is there anything you need?" etc. They'd come in the morning. They'd do the full cabin service. Sheets were changed, I think, about every other day.
Something like that.
Towels were changed out in the morning. Everything we used, didn't have to have them on the floor. They'd take them if we had stuff hanging over the shower door or whatever. They'd take that, put fresh towels up. Then there was the evening service. They refer to it as turn down service, but it is a full evening service.
Yeah. They'll pick up any dirty towels and clean up again and turn the bed down and give us chocolates. The sheets were always re-tucked in and made nice. Sink in the bathroom was wiped down a second time in the evening. We have a veranda. Well, they cleaned the toilet if it needed it.
Yep, they would clean the toilet a second time if it needed it. We have a veranda. They would always bring the cushions in, close the drapes. I mean, it was fabulous. There's a mini fridge.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to mention on the bed, because I just filled the survey out. For my liking, I would have liked a firmer bed, and I don't know if they could have made it firmer, but I didn't ask. But to me, it's a little soft. But again, I slept well every night, so can't really say I can complain about it.
Not really. So there's a complimentary mini fridge. I don't know if that's in every cabin. We are on a concierge level.
Yeah. They were running a sale, so we said, well, why not do that?
Exactly. But it's complimentary soft drinks. They refilled it. In fact, this morning, as we were doing some stuff around the cabin, there was a knock on the door, and Jade 1 was there to refill a couple things he knew we had used. So, perfect. There were a couple of things that went from automatic, like filling the ice bucket, to doing it on request. But that was because of, if you've already watched our food video, you've seen us mention there was a pretty significant bout of something gastrointestinal going around the ship.
Well,
and
norovirus symptoms.
Yeah, norovirus symptoms.
The crew got hit with it too.
Crew got hit really hard, and I have to say, even though they did, the service levels really didn't slip. It might take a little longer for something to happen, but hey, where are we going? We're not in that big a hurry.
Yeah, I mean, there were times you could tell that they were a little short-staffed, but they did make up for it. So.
Yeah, and they, just in general, they stayed fine. Suitcase storage, not a problem. Plenty of room under the beds. The only thing you have to do is lift it up a little bit to get those full-sized checked bags underneath.
At least for our checked bags.
For our checked bags. Some might slide under fine. If it's not something that, if you're traveling solo or if you aren't able to lift the bed just a little bit, check with your cabin steward. They'll help. And I even talked to several people who said that they had unpacked the first day and were going to deal with their suitcases when they came back from dinner, and they came back and the cabin stewards had put them under the bed. So
yeah, had I known that, I'd left them
up. But again, plenty of storage, and the safe would be big enough for a regular size laptop with no problem at all.
Yeah, we brought our tablets, but haven't even used them. They have Starlink Wi-Fi. I don't think we put that in our notes.
We did not.
There's Starlink Wi-Fi. The basic doesn't include streaming, which is what we got. It's one device at a time. And we've traveled with just phones before. We brought tablets in case we wanted to go on them. But really, other than catching up on email and some social media stuff, is like
And we weren't
needed a
spending
lot of
time on it. And that basic Wi-Fi was included, and under the new program will still be included.
Yep.
And
It's,
I think,
unless you want to stream, it works well. Most of the time there were some times it lagged, I don't know, because of our position or whatever.
yeah,
And then you wait a while and it's fine.
yeah. So anyway, cabin has been great, and we're going to see what an ocean view looks like come October. So
Yep.
stay tuned. See you
Okay.
later.
These were our wonderful cabin stewards, Good Day 1 and Good Day 2, and thanks for watching.